I've been told that people seem to think that I love to hear myself talk. And it is very true. I do love to hear myself talk. They'll never get me to admit it, but I do. What happened with Discord? We're gonna watch a Charlie video. We like Charlie. Charlie's pretty cool. Hello, Mr. Penguinz0, Mr. Charles, Mr. Moist Critical. I'd still pay the same price for Ocarina of Time. Yeah, exactly. All right, Mr. Moist Critical, tell us about Discord. What's Discord doing? I've heard a little bit about it. I am a little worried.
Discord's come a long way since its humble beginnings as a Reddit tier, memer, fedora-tipping, narwhal baconing at midnight service where every time you fired it up, it tossed...
That was a lot of words that definitely define Discord.
Like constructing additional pylons and overloading on memes, watch out for Wumpus, and anytime you contacted their support, you were put in touch with Springle, the mystical gnome fairy elf wizard.
I need an alternative to Discord. Well, too bad all of the competitors to Discord were killed when Discord came out. I don't know if anybody else is going to make another one. And I think there's some good reasons and some bad reasons for needing a little bit more, moderation of it, because there are some pretty bad things that happen on Discord. However, I live in a world where two things can be true at once. You shouldn't be letting people on Discord who are under the age of your TOS. Imagine how that works. Unfortunately, at this juncture, there's not many that are the same quality. Exactly. Well, I mean, way back in the day, they used to have, I think it was like the Curse Gaming client that was basically the same thing as Discord, but was a little bit shittier. And then Twitch bought it out and it died. Imagine how that worked. Thank you, Twitch. And then Discord came out, and well, hopefully another good one will come. At least if Discord does go down, it will come because somebody will make it.
To do nothing to help you with whatever problem you had. Discord has grown a lot.
Yes, it has.
Since those days, it has been a staple in society for the last couple of years. And just a few hours ago, they put out an announcement about some big upcoming changes to Discord that they may as well have just announced they're shutting down. Like, that would have been more positively received
than
what
we
actually got here.
It was really bad.
This is despicable. Discord has announced that all accounts will be age restricted by default unless you verify your age via face scan or ID.
What a terribly unforced error. I don't know how CurseForge and Twitch have survived this long. Because they've been forced to survive by interests behind it. Like, the only reason that they exist is because people continue to try to make it exist. That's really the only way that they've survived. I mean, there's a certain nobility to that, to the people who are so on fire for a platform, or even making money still off the platform. But you're right. They probably should have died a long time ago if we truly had a competitive marketplace. But getting back to this, personally, I have a vested interest in this because, I am a VTuber, or at least I want to get a model and I'm trying to make steps in that direction. I don't want, the entire point is, I don't want to break verisimilitude and have to show my face on Discord. I think that this is a terrible play by them. I don't want to have to give my ID to Discord, especially in the event that they literally just got hacked a couple of months ago and everything leaked. It's like, oh, well, that's wonderful. Granted, that's only if like you put stuff on there for like Nitro and stuff, or like your payment information. So if you did, be careful, because Discord has had a very bad track record with managing those things. But, I don't want to be doxxed by Discord. I don't think anybody wants to be doxxed by Discord, but you're opening up the door to that. Like, this is so dumb. Like, these people just don't understand like what their platform is used for, which is saying something, because how did you get there?
There's also a lot more terrible things here, but that's by far the biggest. Discord, by the way, is like the least trustworthy place to be giving your data to. Only a couple months ago, Discord had a huge data breach where hackers got tons of data, as well as 70,000 fucking government IDs.
Imagine.
Giving Discord your biometric data and ID is like giving your paycheck to a polymarket gambling addict. It's just a terrible recipe for disaster. Now they're going with the standard play from John Madden's playbook here of corporate gobbledygook, where they're saying that this is
Welcome to the
actually
OSA. I imagine. Please don't do this to me.
in order to create a safer experience for teens that use Discord.
Also, so this right here, this is what they want to do. So Discord will soon be expanding teen safety protections worldwide, including teen by default settings. Okay, listen, brother. Just don't allow teens to use Discord. Wow. Isn't that fucking something? Why can't we just have a platform where people who are not teenagers, who are older than that, use the platform? And in order to use the platform, actually, honestly, I know why. It's because they're probably more likely to pay for Discord Nitro with mommy and daddy's credit card. So that makes sense on a business standpoint, but like at the same time, kind of seems really scummy to let them use it.
While obviously Discord has had a history of horrible things that have happened to children
Yes, they
that
have.
used their service, this,
which is why you should just ban them.
Or form is the actual impetus for why they're implementing these changes to harvest your data. They then also have a mention in that tweet there that they're starting a council for U.S. teens aged 13 to 17 to apply to be a part of this board that's supposed
they made a book about that. It's called Lord of the Flies. It didn't really work out well for them.
to better help steer Discord in a direction that's safer for children.
Older teens are a lot of Discord's user base, to be fair. Exactly. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you shouldn't allow them if you can't moderate for them. You shouldn't be punishing everybody for the fact that you can't, like, you refuse. Like, it's not even that they don't moderate. It's that they refuse to take moderation issues seriously. Like, I don't know if you're aware of, like, all the stuff that's been happening in the Roblox community. Like, I don't play Roblox. I'm not in that community, but I catch a lot of videos on my personal YouTube about, how bad it is. They choose not to moderate Discord for all of the terrible things that are happening, probably because it would cost a lot of money for them to bring out actually real and good moderation tools, which is just ridiculous on its face. So if you're not going to moderate for a group of people, then just don't let them use the platform. It's that simple. Also, making them users before the age of 18 makes them more likely to continue using it through the years. Yeah, that's very true. That's why Facebook got popular and then fell off once other popular social medias for teenagers showed up. Sure. I am very aware of the Roblox situation. It's disgusting, isn't it? I hate what's been happening there. Hashtag justice for penguinz0, I think it is. I really hope that they can figure it out. But again, I think the reason why they don't do it is because they make a lot of money off of all of it, and they don't necessarily care who gets hurt along the way as long as there's $1 to be made, which is disgusting.
What do you like? How does a kid submit a resume? What's your work experience? We need at least 7 years of Nickelodeon internships or something in order to accept you on the Discord.
Yeah, I'm sure that this body will also have a lot of impact.
It's a very weird proposal. Now, going to their announcement here, when would users need to verify their age group? Users are only prompted to...
I also heard that it's going to be based on an algorithm that's going to pick out behaviors of the user and then flag them as a possible teen or an adult, which still is ridiculous. Like, why are you investing money into this? Just ban everybody who has a year underneath, or a year underneath your TOS. Easy. Then obviously people are going to lie. Well, you can't be held liable for that because they lied about their age. Sure.
Verify their age group when they attempt to access certain age-restricted content, settings, or features. After completing age assurance, users won't be asked to verify again for future age-restricted actions. A user may be prompted to verify their age group if they attempt to unblur media flagged by our sensitive content filters.
I think they're all doing this so that they can't be held liable
sensitivity content
as well.
Filter settings to show sensitive content.
Because I think they're probably in deep shit with a lot of
age-restricted channels and servers,
excess things that have been happening. I could see a government agency wanting to come after them.
In bold at the very bottom, importantly, this does not mean everyone will need to confirm their age just to use Discord. Not yet, at least. I'm sure that's right around the corner.
That, and they're also using this as an excuse to get metadata from people, which they'll just turn around and sell. Which again, I don't want to be angry today, but I'm getting progressively more angry the longer I talk about it.
They knew that they would catch a
really sets me off the wall.
Fucking poop from this for all of their users, because nobody wants to just be willy-nilly giving all of their data, their fucking face scan, ID, and everything to Discord of all companies. A company that literally
I don't want to give it to any company.
Massive data breach, by the way. Many people can use Discord exactly as they do today without ever being asked to confirm their age. Now, here's the default safety settings that if you attempt to alter, you will then most likely be prompted to fork over your data, whether that's an ID or a face scan. So they're calling it teen by default.
You know how you can get around not having to do that? By not allowing teens on your platform.
Establish a clear safety baseline designed with teens in mind, with flexibility for adults to customize their experience. Adults can always choose to verify.
I recently heard that 2 of the people involved with Discord were positively tied to Tencent, so that kind of explains more too. Previously tied to Tencent. I can believe that, honestly, because these people kind of run in circles. And, say what you will about Tencent. I happen to not like the fact that they have been infesting gaming for the last little bit. I am not a big fan of Tencent. Especially because they take very censorious actions. So now that kind of puts into perspective a little bit why this might be happening.
Verify their age and change them, or
Good
leave
spy.
the setting as is. Unless a user is confirmed to be an adult, these safety settings stay in place and can't be changed. So they're immutable unless you are giving, of course, your precious data, which is a currency more valuable than money, which is why every company is scrambling to do everything they can to try and roll out some changes that require you to give them your data. So that way they can sell it to other entities. At this point, it's most likely going to AI-based companies, but it goes all over the place, and it always has. So then it goes into lay out the default settings, such as the content filters, age-gated spaces, message requests, friend request alerts, and stage restrictions. So the wacky new philosophy
if you have a peer-to-peer message service, period, you can't allow teens, just categorically, anybody under the age of 18 on it. Too much liability, too much excess stuff. Just instead of putting everybody else through this protracted idiosyncrasies, we'll call it, because I have more special words that I would call it, but they might be TOS. Just categorically ban them. Problem solved. But they're not going to do it. They're making money off of them.
There at Discord is everyone's a child unless proven otherwise. Children by default. It's a pretty interesting strategy. I don't know if this is what Wumpus has been cooking ever since they banished him to the back rooms or what, but fascinating idea. Brace yourself, because maybe this is a controversial take. This perhaps could be spicy. Do you know how you really protect children on Discord?
I'd say
you don't let children on Discord.
Oh my God. Genius coming from the Florida man himself. Absolutely genius. I can barely contain how mind blown I am. Jesus, this man, next president of the United States you're looking at. Me when kids shouldn't be allowed to play gotcha games. You can't hear or see me right now, but I'm literally rocking back and forth with my eyes rolled up into my head with just how sheer blatant brilliance is being displayed right now.
This is going to tie into something I was just yapping about a couple days ago, and it's something I've said numerous times over the years, but we are in an era where parents do not want to be parents. They would much rather just plop their kids in front of an iPad or...
this is the real problem, by the way. I have seen firsthand some of the ills of my generation's parenting style. Whether that be through social media or through personal anecdote. But there are definitely some parents out there. Obviously, it's not everybody, because I know some very good parents. But there are some parents out there that are just terrible. They just don't care. They shouldn't be able to make microtransactions in general. You mean they shouldn't in Discord be able to make microtransactions? They shouldn't make microtransactions blatantly, period, in general, or children shouldn't be able to purchase them? I enjoy gacha games occasionally, but the microtransactions are the issue. Okay, so just in general. I think that you're right in most contexts. I think that when you make a microtransaction, you should only make a microtransaction to purchase something. It shouldn't be a microtransaction to have the attempt at purchasing something. That's where you start getting into the point where I'm like, that's unethical. Because you don't really know what the percentages are, even if they're quote unquote published. Yeah, no, children definitely shouldn't fucking purchase microtransactions. Sorry, it looks like my kilobits per second went skyrocket or went really bad. Looks like I have some bad internet right now. Well, can't really fix that right now. So I guess it is what it is. But yeah, children shouldn't be able to purchase microtransactions, period. Like they shouldn't even be allowed anywhere near it. Wish microtransactions weren't a thing, but children should 100% not be able. 100%. Like as soon as you have microtransactions, it's just like, what are we doing?
Computer and let the internet raise their kids for them, and just let them have completely unmonitored, unfiltered, unlimited access.
That's going to have huge problems down the way, by the way.
World Wide Web. And as such, the entire landscape of the internet has shifted to constantly be catering towards children using it, which is extraordinarily different from how it was when I was growing up.
Yeah, I remember when video games used to be a hobby for adults.
And kids had like certain special pockets online. But by and large, the internet was focused on adults using it.
And that, parents, is why we don't connect our credit cards to our devices. Wow! Oh my god. Who would have thought? Truly, who would have thought?
Now, it's just been normalized for parents to turn their kids loose online and let them run wild. So as a result...
Honestly, I think it's kind of an interesting problem because these people grew up in an era where the internet was segmented and sanitized for them when they were kids, and then they grew into their own spaces on the internet, and they think the internet still exists in the same way as it did back in the day. Because, like, you know, again, not to say how old I am, but I remember back in the day when you used to only be able to browse the internet through the AOL browser and through being able to, you had to have the link of the website that you're going to, a pre-Google era, pre-indexed era. I remember that. And I remember throughout the entirety of my tenure on the internet, there have been special spaces carved out that were specifically made for children. And when you ventured outside of it, you are no longer in child space. You are in adult space. I wish we could have that back because I think the internet got much worse when you had to censor everything for the benefit of a few minority of people who shouldn't have been there in the first place. And I think that's where we're having a problem.
Everything on the internet has changed in order to compensate for that. And make no mistake, Discord making this change, its primary goal isn't to protect kids using their service.
Damn you, old man. Hey, don't use the O word here. That's really offensive, okay?
Your data, because it's going to be very, very valuable for Discord. And getting everyone more and more comfortable with mass surveillance and no privacy turning over your information.
Club Penguin, Neopets, and all the toys, their own websites with games. Exactly.
Everything in their power to do. They just found a convenient excuse to try and paint it as something good, like protecting kids from bad people on Discord. Now, something else in their announcement is this.
Again, you wouldn't have to protect kids if, you know, they
introducing
we're not Discord
age inference to help determine with high confidence whether a user on the platform is an adult. So from the way they describe it, it seems like it's going to be this tool that's monitoring your activity to find patterns of your usage and make an estimation of your age based on what you engage in on Discord.
Which is already probably going to be
a
bunch of false positives.
But from the sound of things, it is something that's running in the background that monitors user behavior. So if you're someone that's frequenting tax channels on Discord in order to help with your taxes, it would likely view that behavior as likely an adult using the account. So then it would just internally have you as an adult account.
I
so
still
you
wouldn't. I still
need
wouldn't trust
to
it.
complete an explicit age verification flow. Like, if I'm understanding this correctly.
I
Again, I'm
said we
not
wouldn't even need to
entirely
have this if
sure
you just
what that is. To
enforced
me,
your
it sounds
TOS
like
and
what
removed
YouTube
teens from the
introduced
platform.
not long ago, where it monitors
It makes me so upset that the
usage
obvious and simplest
behavior and will
solution
make
is
an
just
estimation of
ignored
their
by the
age based
platform.
on what they engage in on the platform. So for Discord, it seems like it's doing that too. And if it determines that you're an adult, you might not have to submit your facial scan or government ID. But again, I could be totally wrong. Now here's Discord treating its users like dogs, trying to coat
I
this
also have
pill in
questions
peanut
as
butter
to
make
what
it
it's
easier
going to
swallow.
interpret as adult
We
behaviors
also
on
offer
Discord.
other assurance methods
Yeah,
through our
that's
collaboration with trusted,
definitely a good
privacy-forward
question.
partners,
Again,
such as facial age estimation,
that's why I think
ID
there's going to be a
scan,
lot
all
of false
designed to minimize
positives.
data use and maximize user control. There's no way of dressing that up in any way that is actually privacy forward, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We will continue exploring and validating additional age assurance approaches with the goal of expanding options and giving users choices that work best for them. After completing a chosen method, users will receive confirmation via direct message from our official Discord account. A user's assigned age group can be viewed at any time in My Account settings. Users can also go to My Account settings to appeal by retrying the process. We currently only prompt users to age.
I am at a loss of words at how dumb some people can be in decision-making processes at Discord.
Safety settings. We do not send emails or text messages.
Detached is probably the right word for it. They are detached from reality.
Key privacy protections. On-device processing. Video selfies for facial age estimation never leave a user's device. Quick
bullshit. As soon as it's out there in the ether, they're gone. Everybody has access to it.
In most cases,
do anime gifs count as a teenager or adult? What about talking about pop culture, slang? That's also hypercontextual. That's exactly.
Usually it's like real quick. Like I'm talking.
Are we going back a year, 2 years, 5 years of usage on Discord?
Users complete the process once, and their Discord experience adapts to their verified age group. Users may be asked to use multiple methods only when more information is needed to assign an age group. Fuck Jesus. Private status. A user's age verification status is only available to that user and cannot be seen by others.
Yeah, bullshit.
We're intentional about selecting and working with age assurance.
Lots of things on Discord are private, but I know that there's ways to get around those privacy filters because lots of hackers have done it, as evidenced by the massive hack that happened not too long ago, and the fact that mods exist for Discord. Don't do it, it's against TOS, but they exist.
That's not actually why they're making this big pivot here at all. It's just in this race that every company on the planet is engaged in to collect as much data as possible and get people as comfortable as possible with just giving their data willingly. So that way they can just harvest.
They're always watching
easily,
you.
No hiccups.
Ready to sell your data at a moment's notice.
It's a good change, and it is not something that anyone should be looking forward to. Do I think it's actually going to kill Discord? No. I don't think so. I know a lot of people are saying that this is...
I think Charlie's right about this, by the way. I think, like, people have been too used to Discord's convenience, and I think that it's likely that they will not give up Discord outright. I think one of the issues is that there is no alternative, obviously, but it's such a useful platform that giving it up almost seems impossible at the moment. However, once a new platform comes through that's better than Discord or even comparable to Discord that doesn't do this shit, everybody's going to migrate over there. It's going to be instantaneous.
The end of Discord, and even me with the title RIP Discord, I don't actually think it's going to sink them. I think people are just going to shrug their shoulders and just fork over the data in order to keep using the platform that they've
because they have no alternative.
Become accustomed to. I don't believe people ever really have a huge willingness to switch off of things that they become used to. There's endless examples to pull from, even like in gaming. People have set games that
to wrap it all back to the beginning of this video, like, you know, Twitch.
Around with playing a new game in the same genre, but typically always go back to the one that they've just spent the most time with. And right now, that's Discord. So I don't think that this is going to be, you know, a huge destruction of Discord, even though I think it should be. I just don't think people are
one can hope that it'll
be switch to something else in its place because people are just too used to Discord's service at this point. But I guess we'll see. I could be entirely wrong. Skype, for example. Skype, by all definitions, was too
Oh
big to
God, I
fail.
remember
They
Skype.
were the top dog until
One
Discord
of the
came around
first
and
things I
ate their
removed
lunch.
from this PC
Discord
once I
was
got
a
it.
superior service to Skype, and Skype ate shit for it. It never adapted, it never changed, and it died. So who knows? Maybe I'm entirely wrong, and something will pop up now that Discord is in a really rough spot, lost their footing here. Maybe
Yep.
something else will come and take its place, and people will flock to that instead, so that way they don't have to play ball with these kind of new changes. We'll see. I'm just not super optimistic about that happening, but I'd love to be wrong about it. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya.
See ya. Bruh, I already watched this one. Thank you, Mr. penguinz0, Mr. Charlie. We really don't like the direction that Discord's going in, by the way. Like I said, I think that there's going to be a lot of more adverse externalities than they'd like to admit that there will be. So I'm hoping that, you know, it doesn't happen. Oh my God. Guys, I'm being advertised to myself. That's huge. Guys, we're huge right now. Sorry, I got distracted. Back to Charles. Yes, I definitely think he's right about this, especially in the fact that people aren't going to adopt a new platform because there is, in fact, no platform that can take the place of Discord. But, you know, one can hope.